That's actually one of my favorite pictures of that little girl right there. If I can back it up just for a second, she's a beautiful, bubbly little child right here. And I've worked with kids her age, so this really, really hits home for me. Her name is Isabella Loving, Loving. She was not loved at all. She was hit, kicked, deprived of food, pretty much starved, and you could tell by some of the pictures where she looks like really, really skinny. And water, and she was deprived of food and water and subjected to other abuses causing her death. So the Washoe County District Attorney Chris Hicks said in announcing his office is seeking the death penalty against the girl's father, who is that clown that you just saw on the screen a second ago. Let me back it up. Right there. Nicholas Loving is charged with murder and child abuse in the April 3rd of 2025 death of his 5-year-old daughter. Again, her name is Isabella. He is jailed with no bail. The state contends that Izzy was subjected over an extended period of time, roughly 2.5 years. 2.5 years, and this baby was 5, more than half of her life. Subjected to repeated abuse, neglect, isolation, deprivation, and withholding of necessary medical care, ultimately resulting in her death, Hicks said at a news conference. Andrea Loving, who was the girl's mother, this big, nasty looking, looks like she has a fat suit on. Like she just looks really effed up. That woman right there, let me see. Can I get a better picture of her up here? I don't know that I have a more clear picture of her. Let me see. I guess that's about as good as it gets right there. Definitely a monster, for sure. Andrea, the girl's mother, is also charged with murder and child abuse, but is not eligible for the death penalty under Nevada law. She is being held on a $2 million bond. Sheriff Darren Balaam said that both parents are under precautionary suicide watch, although no attempts have been made. Hicks said that during the May 11th review with the Washoe County Sheriff's Office, officials unanimously decided the state should seek the death penalty against the father, Nicholas. After evaluating the totality of evidence, the Sheriff's Office fully supports the District Attorney's thorough assessment and legal determination that pursuing the death penalty is warranted under law. Hicks said that both cases are expected to go to trial within a year and take about 6 weeks. He added that while Nevada law prohibits seeking the death penalty against Andrea, he will pursue a verdict that holds her accountable. Now, according to Nevada law, a death sentence may be imposed by a jury after a conviction for first-degree murder, which is premeditated. Yes, TTT and TTO, thank you for posting that. I'm glad y'all remember that. Thank you. That means take the ovaries, take the testicles. They do not deserve to have their reproductive organs. So thank y'all for posting that. That's what that means. So if y'all see people post that in the chat, that's what it means. One of our hashtags, one of our many hashtags. A death sentence may be imposed by a jury after conviction for first-degree murder when one or more statutory aggravating circumstances are found. In this case, Hicks said that there are multiple aggravating factors. Nicholas Loving has prior felony child abuse convictions. Can we get also one of our other hashtags? What is that? Hashtag when you date thugs, you date death. Can somebody post that in the chat for me, please? When you date thugs, you date death. He has prior felony child abuse convictions, plural. So that sounds like more than one. Is accused of murdering Izzy by means of torture, and the victim was younger than 14 years old. That matters because when you have somebody who can't speak for themselves, they cannot defend themselves against the tyranny of their caretakers, that makes it more egregious, and there should be a bigger penalty. And I know in Texas we have this thing called super aggravated child abuse. That would apply in this situation with this baby being as young and as small as she is. Court documents filed by Hicks state that at the time of Izzy's death, Visible signs of torture included, but not limited to, blunt force injuries to her head and neck. She was beat up. Torso and extremities. She was probably beat up and probably kicked. Injuries to the brain and spinal cord consistent with ischemic axonal damage. I have no idea what that even means. Let me see if I can. I guess that's spinal damage, I guess. Let me see. Ischemic axonal axonal damage is the injury or destruction of nerve fibers in the brain or spinal cord caused by lack of oxygen and blood flow. Wow. Beat her to death. That's what these fools did to that little bitty, tiny little baby with that beautiful little smile. And blunt force injuries to internal organs. So that's exactly what they did. They literally beat her to death over time, over 2.5 years. The last Washoe County case to be considered for the death penalty involved Wilbur Ernesto Martinez Guzman in 2019 killings of Jerry and Sherry David, Connie Kuntz, and Sophia Renkin. The death penalty was removed as part of the plea deal, and Martinez Guzman was sentenced to multiple life terms without the possibility of parole. So we can skip the rest of that. And they given information about another high-profile case just as a comparison so y'all kind of understand. James Bila was sentenced to death for the 2008 killings of Reno College student Breonna Dennison. He also received 4 consecutive life sentences for kidnapping and SAing, that word SA, y'all know what that means, SA, additional victims. He is currently on death row in Ely State Prison. I wouldn't put this past them that they might have also SA'd this little baby as well. Wouldn't put it past them because they clearly hated her, and you can only imagine the things that they might have done when hate is involved. And I want y'all to notice something. As a parent, as a father, this is one thing that I noticed. Now, granted, standing in the corner is not the worst punishment I've ever been given, and most of us would agree it's not the worst punishment you could ever be given, right? It happens. You might mess up or do something you weren't supposed to do, or something you were supposed to do that you did not do. But here's what I want to point out. I want to point something out here. I want to show you, because this kid's face is covered up, right? Nice bed and everything. And I think that they said that I read in another article that this little baby had to sleep on like some makeshift bed, like damn near on the floor. They made this little girl sleep on the floor. Look how tiny she is and look how skinny she is. You can see the size of her head and look at the rest of her body. Her clothes are literally falling off of her as small as she is for 5 years old. To me, she looks starved. While this other girl is in her little princess outfit or whatever it is, I guess they're showing her all the love in the world. While this other little girl is getting punished. She's the smallest in the room, the tiniest. And she got treated the worst. So I can only imagine what the thoughts is that's going through those other kids' head, knowing that these people took the life of their little sister. Okay? But I wanted to throw that out there and just show that. I mean, it's a clear disdain for that baby. You can see where other kids are being treated well and this baby being treated like she's nothing. And I don't think she ever stood a chance. So let me give you the news videos that I was able to find. This is under fair usage, USC, 17 USC 107. We're not going to read that whole thing anymore. We're going to start skipping that. So here we go.
Today we are here because the death of a 5-year-old, Isabella Izzy Loving, a tragedy that has profoundly impacted our entire community. The loss of a child under any circumstance is heartbreaking. Allegations involving prolonged suffering and death of a vulnerable child are especially difficult for the public to process and deeply affect everyone who encounters them. Under Nevada law, not everybody charged with first-degree murder is eligible for the death penalty. The statutory framework governing capital punishment, as well as Nevada case law interpreting those statutes, does not support the filing of the death penalty against Andrea Loving. In other words, under the law and facts of this case, we cannot legally sustain a death sentence against her.
And we are learning new details in the death of 5-year-old Isabella Loving. Reports from arresting officers detail the mother Andrea's version of what happened the morning she was discovered. And that includes some graphic details of physical abuse allegedly at the hands of Nicholas, the girl's father. And over the past 2 years, St. Nicholas was used to believe that Isabella was not his child. Andrea describes times she allegedly saw him kicking Isabella with steel-toed boots and cowboy boots. And she also says Nicholas would grab Isabella by the hair, slam her head against the wall, and that he would withhold food, force her to take cold showers, and that every night for several months leading up to her death, Isabella was locked in a small storage cabinet by either Nicholas or herself. Andrea claims that's where he wanted Isabella at all times. She also admitted to covering the little girl's bruises with makeup while they were in public, and that she had not taken her daughter to the doctor since 2022 because she didn't want the doctor to see Isabella's injuries. Andrea claims she never physically abused Isabella. However, investigators say they have evidence to the contrary. They also interviewed another child who detailed abuse to him at the hands of Nicholas. As we reported yesterday, Isabella's death was ruled a homicide. She died of bacterial pneumonia, but multiple blunt force injuries, malnutrition, dehydration, and medical neglect were also contributing factors. The report says officers found data on Andrea's cell phone showing her intentional involvement in the daily mistreatment of Isabella and that she deliberately failed to get the child care. They also reportedly have Ring camera footage detailing verbal abuse. Police also noting an apparent lack of emotion from both parents in the initial interviews. Both are now facing charges of child abuse causing substantial bodily harm. And Andrea Loving remains in the Washoe County Jail. She's due in court next Tuesday for a bail hearing. She waived her court appearance yesterday after being referred to the alternative public defender's office. There is a conflict of interest right now in this case because the public defender's office is representing Isabella's father, Nicholas Loving.
Right now, there's a child in our community or our nation that's being abused, neglected, or endangered. And I plead with every parent, adult, and our society that we have to be the greatest advocates for our children. If you see something, say something. I can't emphasize that enough. Say something.
The Cold Springs woman is now charged in the murder and the death of her 5-year-old daughter in a case that really jolted this entire community when it unfolded. The new charges just announced by prosecutors today, and Kim Burrows here live in the studio with the latest details. Kim?
The Washoe County District Attorney's Office amended her criminal complaint Monday to add the murder charge that Andrea Loving is now facing, along with child abuse neglect charges for her and her husband. Nicholas Loving is her husband. We want to warn you now that the details of this case are a little bit graphic and hard to hear. Andrea and Nicholas Loving were arrested, accused of the daily mistreatment of Isabella, their daughter. She died in April. Court documents say that Nicholas killed Izzy by hitting and or kicking and shoving her head into a wall. According to court records, Andrea is accused of allowing unjustifiable physical pain or mental suffering and allowing terrorizing, degrading, painful, or emotionally traumatic behavior against Izzy. The new murder charge alleges that Andrea took steps to cover up, keep Izzy out of public view, and allow the abuse to continue for nearly 2.5 years. Now, Andrea Loving was expected to be in court today, but it was waived. She and Nicholas Loving's case are bound over to district court now. They are expected to appear in the new year in court. Washoe County District Attorney said in part in a statement that they emailed us that the loss of Isabella weighs heavily on our community and their office, and they will seek justice on Izzy's behalf. Live in studio, I'm Kim Burrows.
And y'all here, and it's like, I never will understand how you have these big, huge these individuals who see that they're like 4 to 5 times, 6 times this little girl's size. And you could think to be that big of a bully, punching, kicking, throwing her in the walls, starving her, depriving her of medicine and food. And you see how big this woman is. That woman has never missed a meal. Look at this. Her entire life. So yes, we are fat shaming or whatever you want to call it. But here's my whole thing. I want y'all to understand what these people are doing to somebody who can't speak for themselves, can't defend themselves. This little girl can't go get a job. She can't earn a living. You brought her into this world without asking her because y'all had a carnal desire. Look how big she is. And then abuse. We call these children God's blessings, God's gifts to us. Well, how do you think God is going to feel about that when our time comes on this earth? Knowing that that's how you did the blessing that he gave you. I think, in my opinion, there's some things that are unforgivable, and I think that their souls are required in hell for what they did to Isabella. That little angel did not deserve that at all. She reminds me so much of my little kids. I do kindergarten, pre-K, I do middle school, and I do a lot of Head Start. So I've seen so many babies her age, and all they need is just love and attention and just teach them. That's it. It's very easy to keep these kids happy. You just got to love on them and treat them right. That is our responsibility. That's probably my favorite picture. Young princess, R.I.P. But thank y'all so much for listening to Isabella's story. So again, if nothing else, they're going to get life in prison. That man is probably going to face the death penalty. So if we're able to get that, we'll probably do an update on that. But that'll probably be about it to conclude Isabella's story. Okay? But let me know what you guys think in the comment section. If there's something we missed, you could also post it. Thank you. Let's go to our next story. We got a little bit more to talk about. I've done preschool for 10 years. Thank you. Who was that said that in the chat? Nikki Baby, shout out to you. Do we have any other teachers in here or anybody else who's taught Head Start? Them kids don't need much. I've seen some good teachers, but keep in mind, I've gone to multiple schools, so I'm not throwing nobody under the bus. But at this one particular school, this other school that I don't like going to, I've seen those teachers make simple situations and turn them into shit storms with these kids and have them hollering and screaming. And I'm just like, now I see why these kids are just all over the place. Because it's just, I just look at it from a father's standpoint. I am old school, but at the same time, I operate with a lot of common sense. It is not that hard to get children to go in a direction. You just have to set a standard for them and stand on business. That's it. You don't have to threaten them or anything. Let's see here. This is out of Georgia. Okay, Georgia's taking the L. Ash and Emmy is in the chat. Let me replace my stuff with y'all stuff because it looks a whole lot better. Thank you very much to Naya, keeping us on track. Linda Lang. Hey, Linda is in the building. Thank you very much. What's up, Amanda Valentine? I know Linda has that gold, that it's like a platinum A. It's like a gold and platinum A. Means you've been here for a while as far as keeping your channel membership. So if you're listening, thank you very much. Sure appreciate you typing in the chat. Shout out to Ash and Emmy. And thank you and shout out to our friend Lisa. Lisa, if you are in the chat, thank you very much for your Cash App. Said thank you for all that you do. Guys, sometimes it takes something so simple just to leave a great message and make an impact. Anything that you guys send in Cash App, I will make sure and shout you out. Or if you do it in the super chat, just hit those buttons in there and I will make sure to shout you out. If nothing else, let's hit that thumbs up. Let me see where we're at. Guys, sometimes it takes... We are at, oh my goodness, we are at 59 thumbs up. Here's what I need y'all to do. I always just hope that people would just hit it without me saying anything. But I do want to take a pause because I'm looking at the same live stream y'all are looking at. And we have only 60 thumbs up, meaning we got 30 people watching that have not clicked anything. Can y'all type in the chat and let me know when you hit the thumbs up, please, everybody? Even if you're watching from the TV, all you got to do on your remote is press the up button. It'll give you a menu. press over to the right twice, and then press the middle button to highlight the thumbs up, even if you're watching on a tablet or a TV. Let me know when y'all hit that thumbs up. We are way behind. And to be honest with you, it's actually, we're notifying less. And I'm not going to say it's all on us. It's really on YouTube. I actually just sent them a message recently and told them, like, hey, you're not even notifying people that are subscribed to my channel. Like, I think it's weird. Thank you, Almond. Thank you, Miss Independent. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, Michelle, Tina, Ash. Thank you, Dimples. Thank you, Sherry. Sarah, thank you very much. Shout out to you. Can we get 90 thumbs up, please? We only need, we're at 70. Okay, thank you. And you notice the number of people watching goes up. I don't know how that works. Thank you, Alicia. Thank you, Tiffany. You didn't get a notification? Oh, I didn't send out an email, did I? Or did I? No, I did not. Oh, shame on Jay. I did everything except send out the emails. My bad. So some of that is my fault. Can y'all wait for a second? Y'all wait for a second. Let me send this out real quick. So some of that actually might be on me. So there we go. And let me get everybody who I'm supposed to notify. They might be getting it late, but it's better late than never. Y'all, please hit that thumbs up. Moderators, can y'all let me know when we get to like 90 thumbs up? If we can get that, I think we'll be doing good. Today is the 21st. And I need to add 2 more names because they asked me to send them a link. 60 girl, I got you. Boom. But I thought I had your email already in here, though, honestly. Nope, did not. So there you go. So 60 girl, you got a notification. And Tiffany, you're already in the chat, so you already got it. So I'm going to send it to you, and I'm going to just add you so that way you'll get it every time now. Boom. There we go. Sorry about that. Oh, Reej, I actually got that story. That's going to be the last story. I got you. So thank you, Reej. Anybody else? Glitter. Glitter is forever. Anybody else? Tomi Ta. Shout out to Kai. I think that's all we can do for now. We'll leave it like that. I'm at 79 thumbs up. You got a notification. Sky full of stars in the building. Thank you. So thank you, Lisa, and thank you to Reach 3002. That's where we at on Cash App right now. Heck yeah. From the UK. Hey, do we got any? Where are you guys watching from? Can y'all tell me where y'all are watching from? Diamond. Thank you, Diamond. P. Holmes in the building. I see you. Longtime channel member. Shout out to Diamond. Shout out to Sarah. Dr. J Services Incorporated. Baby Blue Eyes. Michelle, thank you from the UK. Where are you guys watching from? What city, what state? Y'all need y'all to rep where y'all at. Where my Texas people at? Are y'all watching the NBA finals? Where are my New York Knicks at? Where are my Cleveland Cavaliers at? Where are my OKC Thunder fans at? Right here. Where my Spurs fans at? Not here. We got Michigan, Chicago, Maryland. Hit that thumbs up. Missouri, Newport. Thank you. New York and Utah now. Shout out to you. Where y'all watching from? Yeah, Tommy Ty, he still sends me emails. He just need to pull back up in the chat. We got GA in the building. Warner, thank you. Oh, you are in San Antonio. God dang it. We got Texas in the building between Houston and Galveston. I know where that's at. I don't know that I drove through there when I went to Port Boulevard in just past Galveston. Maybe you've heard of that. Port Boulevard. H-Town, thank you. Lakeland, Florida. Wisconsin. Yes, we're going to hate on your Spurs. Pensacola, Florida. Detroit, thank you. Everybody hit that thumbs up. What up, Chris? What up, Chrissy? In the building, thank you. We got Delaware in the building, thank you. We got 81 thumbs up. Let's try to get to 100. Let's go ahead and talk about this next story. Here's my thing. I think being a caretaker, a babysitter, a teacher, any position, even being a parent, but especially if it's not your kid, you're choosing to be in that position. A lot of people are doing this only for money. Get a hashtag babies for benefits. That's an AFC hashtag. If you didn't know, there's a reason that I say that, because I feel like too many people in our society do not care about kids, but they want to collect some type of benefits off of those kids. And I don't think that's right, especially when you abuse them to a point like this. We're going to get into this individual's story here in just a second with her face. I want y'all to know that that woman is only like a year older than me. Crazy. Here's a disclaimer. I don't want nobody offended. Pause it, read it. Let's get into the story. Coming from people.com. Shout out to People. A Georgia woman who prosecutors said was caring for a 2-year-old girl for more than 2 weeks before the child died has pleaded guilty to murdering her. First of all, I don't understand why anybody would have your kid for more than 2 weeks at all. A young kid, this baby was only 2 years old. I would barely let anybody watch my kid for 2 days, let alone 2 weeks. Just something about that, unless it's a grandmother or something, somebody a little bit closer to the family, but whatever, okay? Just my opinion. Her name is Felisa, Phillissa. Don't know how you get that name. Phil and then Lisa, I guess. Diallo, Diallo, 44 years old. Pleaded guilty to second-degree murder, second-degree cruelty to children, and concealing the death of another in the 2002 death of Alyssa Rose Davis, who was that beautiful little angel. And I actually enhanced her picture to make it really nice and clear. Not that one, but this one. That is such a beautiful little angel. That's the one I enhanced right there. She just seems to be a happy baby. What would ever make a person want to even do something to her to make that smile go away is beyond me. Totally beyond me. But she pled guilty to second-degree murder, second-degree cruelty to children, and concealing the death of another in the death of this girl, Alyssa, according to a release from the Cherokee County District Attorney's Office. Chief Superior Judge David L. Cannon Jr. sentenced Diallo to 37 years in prison. 37 years. With the first 21 years to be served in prison, according to the release. So I'm assuming she would get the rest of that like on some type of halfway house or house arrest or something. I don't know. But basically 21 years is still never enough. The case began in December 14th of 2022 when Diallo, that woman right there, walked into the Canton Police Department and reported a deceased child in her apartment. Officers searching the apartment found Alyssa's mutilated remains in a plastic storage bin filled with a salt-like substance and concealed beneath other items in a closet, according to the release. Mutilated. What does mutilated mean? It means to inflict severe, irreparable damage to a body, object, or document, typically by cutting, tearing, or destroying an essential part. So if they mean that she decapitated this child, mutilated her, tore her body parts apart, just what kind of a effed up individual are you? Not only to take this child's life, but then to do that. And then on top of that, this is how you know people like this deserve a life sentence. They don't ever deserve the opportunity to rehabilitate. She thought this out because she placed the remains in a plastic storage bin filled with a salt-like substance and concealed beneath other items. What does salt do to a body? I don't know if it preserves it or kills the smell. I don't know, but I'm assuming that took some intellect. That took some thought. She's not dumb. She's not crazy. She is not, what do they call that? Mental illness? No. Absolutely not. An autopsy determined that the child died from lethal amounts of acetaminophen and diphenhydramine, which is basically like Tylenol and Benadryl, I think. And that's according to the district attorney's office. The news identified the medications as Tylenol and Benadryl. Okay, so I was right. Prosecutors said Alyssa was last known to be alive on December the 8th, though the exact date of her death could not be determined. Her remains were found 6 days later. Yes, that is pure evil. Mental illness. Do you think it's mental illness? Yes, I think she needs to skip jail and go straight to hell. Absolutely. Mutilated. How often do you hear that term? Thank y'all for typing that in the chat. According to the DA's office, the child had been in Diallo's continuous care for more than 2 weeks before her death. And you'd have to ask why. Why was this child in her care for more than 2 weeks? Ring video collected by investigators show Diallo leaving the child alone in the apartment for extended periods of time. So if you're going to do that, if you got things to do and more important things to handle, why take the child? If you ask me, I would think that she was probably being paid. That's the only thing that makes sense. Because if you're not being paid, why take a child when you're knowing I got things to do and I don't want to take this child with me? So why accept the responsibility? That makes no sense. Maybe somebody in the chat, shout out to Tommy, can make that make sense for me. Extended periods of time. The child's mother remained in regular contact with Diallo during that time and was unaware her daughter had died until she was notified by law enforcement. While investigators determined Diallo was the only person present with Alyssa in the days before and after her death, prosecutors said that the evidence was insufficient under Georgia law to support a malice murder charge. How not? That I don't understand. Under Georgia law, whatever. At the plea hearing, Deputy Chief Assistant District Attorney Rachel Hines said Diallo admitted Alyssa was still alive at one point during the incident and that calling 911 or seeking medical help may have saved that child's life, according to the release. Let me see. We can skip this part. Among the evidence introduced by prosecutors were the large plastic storage bin where the remains were found, Ring video footage showing Diallo bringing bleach into the home, and crime scene photographs using Blue Star forensic testing that prosecutors said showed areas where blood had been cleaned, according to the release. Again, that takes intellect. That takes maybe even Google searching. But if you had the wherewithal, the presence of mind to try to clean up, that means you knew what you did was wrong and you knew that you were trying to hide evidence. Again, that shows a large level of intellect. To me, that should absolutely be first-degree murder, malice murder, planned murder, whatever you want to call it, a pure life sentence. Nothing less than that. What's up, Toker? How are you? What y'all think about that? If you ask me, that sounds like she was intelligent enough to do all of that. Defense attorneys presented an independent expert who claimed that Diallo was delusional. But a Georgia Department of Behavioral health expert testified that Diallo was not experiencing delusional thoughts at the time of the incident. The victim's mother also delivered an emotional impact statement in court saying that she was robbed when Alyssa was taken from her and that her family would never be the same according to the release. Here's what I would want to know from the mom. What the hell were you and the dad doing? And I include the dad in this, the biological father. Because for you to not have your kid for more than 2 weeks signifies that as young as this baby is, she should not have been in anybody's care for that long, for any reason. So I'm going to assume, because statistics prove this to be the case, that the mom and dad are probably not together. And if they're not, then why couldn't the dad take some of that time or take all of that time? Why didn't you give the kid to the dad as opposed to this woman? But one thing that I noticed, and yes, I am getting on to the mother who might be grieving. Yes, I know I do that because and I'm not just talking to her, I'm talking to other people before you even get to this point. So y'all will think before you do these stupid ass things. We tend to let anybody watch our kids besides the other biological parent. Now, why the hell is that? When more times than none, even statistics prove that when you give the good fathers a chance, fathers in general, a chance to be dads, they'll be dads and they'll do a good job of it. You didn't give them a chance. And I'd like to know why and what the hell were you doing for all that amount of time. Fair usage under 17 USC 107 before I play this news video. I only found one news video. This was not national news.
This morning, a convicted child killer will spend at least 2 decades in prison. Felissa Diallo pleaded guilty to murder, cruelty to children, and concealing a death. Canton police found a 2-year-old girl dead inside Diallo's apartment in 2022. Investigators determined Diallo was taking care of the girl but left her alone for extended periods of time. An autopsy determined that child died from lethal amounts of acetaminophen and another drug. The girl was last known to be alive on December 8th, 2022. Her body was found 6 days later.
And can y'all believe that's the only video I can find anywhere? Please let me know what you guys think. Said this happens all the time, not in Russia. Man, it just seems like we read stories like this too often. Like my email is still full. There are months on top of months. I can't even get to all the stories that I have in my email. Stories just like this. Just this bad, just this heinous. That woman deserves a life sentence in prison. To give her a minimum of 21 years, flat out ridiculous. That 41 number, she's going to get out before that number. She don't deserve it. This angel deserved every opportunity to grow up and become something great. And in my opinion, again, don't want the family to get mad at me for saying this. I think that this baby should have never been in anybody's custody, not for 2 days, let alone 2 weeks. So, Princess, R.I.P. That's Alyssa Rose Davis. R.I.P. Princess. Thank y'all so much for listening to her story. If we have any more updates, we'll present it, but that's probably going to be about it. So make sure and share this and make the story go viral. Let the world know that this baby's life mattered, please.